everybody, this is Miss Dewey, and this week we are going to start talking about the human body. There will actually be 2 different videos this week, each one talking about 3 different body systems, just so that we can break things up into 2 smaller videos rather than having one big video. So in this video, we're going to talk about the nervous system, the endocrine system, and the reproductive system. In the next video, we'll talk about the skeletal system, the muscular system, and the integumentary system. But before we get started, let's talk first about what we mean by what a body system is anyways. So if we think back to our levels of organization in biology, we can remember that the smallest level of organization is a cell. That's the smallest thing in any body. Then when you put a bunch of cells together, you get a tissue. Then when you put a bunch of tissues together, you'll get an organ. And when you get a bunch of organs working together, that makes a system. So today we're going to be talking about different systems in the human body and how those organs work together to perform a function. So the 2 big things that you need to know about every system in the human body is what that system does and what structures, what organs are inside of it that helps it do that function. So let's start off with the nervous system. So the function of the nervous system is to be the control system of the whole body. So everything that you do, everything that you think, that's all your nervous system at play. Even the fact that you move is because of your nervous system. So there are 3 big organs that you should think about in the nervous system, and that is your brain, which is in your head, your spinal cord, which is in your back, and your nerves, which are all over your body. We can actually split the nervous system up into 2 big parts. We have the central nervous system, which is where the spine and the brain are. So this is where you actually process all of the information that you take in. And then we have your peripheral nervous system, which is all the nerves that cover the rest of your body. And this is where all of the information is taken in from and where all of the actions are carried out from. So what do I mean by like sensory information? What do I mean by carrying out actions? What does all that mean? First, let's talk about what a neuron is. So a neuron is an individual cell. Going back down to that cellular level, we're talking about one cell is a neuron. This carries signals from one neuron to the next, which travel from a part of your body, from the nerves, up through your spinal cord to your brain. Then your brain processes it, sends it back down your spinal cord to have a reaction. So let's think of an example. So let's say that you go and you touch a hot stove. So what happens from your perspective is you touch the hot stove and then you immediately pull your hand back because it's so hot. What's actually happening there is that you're touching the hot stove. Your finger has sensory nerves inside of it that sense that the stove is hot. And then that information travels up so quickly you don't even realize it. It travels up through your arm to your spinal cord and then to your brain. Your brain very quickly processes, that's hot, we should move our hand. And then it just as quickly sends a signal back down from your brain to your spinal cord to your hand to a motor neuron, which moves your hand away. So that's an example of getting sensory input from your sensory nerves and then reacting to that with your motor nerves. The next big system we're going to talk about is the endocrine system. We actually already talked about the endocrine system because this is what produces hormones that chemically control homeostasis. So we talked about this a lot when we talked about homeostasis because we talked about insulin in the pancreas and how that regulates your blood sugar. So just as a reminder, the endocrine system is made up of a bunch of different glands. Each of those glands releases its own hormone, and that hormone goes to a different part of your body to tell it to do something. So your pancreas, which is a gland, sends out insulin, which goes to your body cells and tells them to take up sugar. So this is another control system for your body, but it works much more slowly than your nervous system does. And also, rather than using nerves, which is an electrical signal, it uses chemicals, hormones, which is a chemical signal. So some of the main organs of the endocrine system are the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, the thyroid gland, the parathyroid gland, the adrenal glands, the pancreas, and the sex organs, testes and ovaries. And testes and ovaries actually play in with the next system. They're part of both systems. So testes and ovaries are part of the endocrine system because they are glands that release hormones that tell your body to do something, but they're also part of the reproductive system because they are used to create offspring through sexual reproduction. So let's quickly remember what asexual and sexual reproduction are. So humans do not do asexual reproduction because that's when you can create a clone of yourself, an identical copy of yourself. So you are not able to just go out and decide, I want to have a child today, and then clone yourself. You cannot do that. Instead, humans reproduce through sexual reproduction, where you need a mother and a father, and you have haploid cells, gametes, egg and sperm, joined together. Now, you should remember that gametes are created through meiosis. And where meiosis takes place in the body are in the sex organs. Specifically in the male reproductive system, meiosis happens in the testes, and in the female reproductive system, meiosis happens in the ovaries. The female reproductive system is also designed in order to actually hold and carry a baby for 9 months. So not only is it responsible for making the female gamete, the egg, it's also responsible for, once that egg is fertilized, keeping it in place in the uterus and helping it grow into a full baby. So just as an overview, in this video we talked about 3 systems. We talked about the nervous system, which is the very fast control system of the body, which sends signals through electrical signals. We talked about the endocrine system, which is the slower control system of the body, which sends signals through chemical hormones. And then we talked about the reproductive system, which uses meiosis in order to prepare us for sexual reproduction. So that's all for this video, but in the next video, we will be talking about the skeletal system, the muscular system, and the integumentary system. So please also check that video out. The link is in the description below. See you soon, everybody.